You're listening to the Messy Diaries,
where we figure out womanhood in real time,
laugh at our questionable decisions, and somehow still give decent advice.
It's a little bit messy, unfiltered, and very honest.
We wouldn't want us any other way.
Dear diary,
Let's go.
Hey guys, hi. Thanks for joining us again. We had our first episode, and we actually recorded it yesterday.
We did.
We're on a roll. Second episode in, second day. We're going for it.
We're here for it. We're here.
We are talking about relationships today.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing we wanted to talk about. Not because we are experts in that field.
No, definitely not experts.
But I feel like we have got a lot to say, and we've learned a lot.
We've learned a lot on the way, haven't we? Some good, some bad, a little bit rocky, but here we are.
Yeah, so in our last episode we said that me and Liz had been friends for so long, and what did we say, 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
20 whole years. So obviously we've been together as friends, and we've seen each other's relationships come and go, progress. As Liz said, there's been some good moments and some not so good moments. So we thought we would have a deep dive today.
Yes.
And maybe have some good advice along the way.
I know. Well, we do try. We do try.
We do try. I think that we have learned a lot in our time. So, first question.
What makes a good relationship?
What makes a good relationship? Are you going to answer this?
I mean, I don't actually know what makes a good relationship.
I think you do.
But no, all jokes aside, like, I think having gone from maybe not so good relationships to, I would definitely say a good relationship now. Like, me and my current partner have a very good relationship. And
we've been together a few years.
Yeah, quite a few years now. But obviously, you're always learning things along the way. And we definitely me and you lean on each other quite a lot for like advice and like girl talk and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the good parts now have been on reflection from the not so good things in the past.
Yeah.
Like what to put up with, what not to put up with.
I mean, definitely. We're both, well, I'm 30 now and you're nearly 30. And I feel like in our 20s, I mean, the 20s are for learning anyway, regardless of what we're talking about. But I think with romantic relationships, you learn a lot. I spent my 20s with my husband, and we, even though we have been together for so long, we have had to go through so much and learn together. And I think a good relationship is not having your guard up. It's like letting the other person in, knowing when you're wrong, maybe, and like admitting when you're wrong.
And I think I've had to learn that, like, definitely a lot along the way. Like, I think I struggled to admit when I was wrong a lot in the past, and that's definitely something I think even till recently, like, I've been trying to work on, and know when to say sorry, and like just not being so stubborn as well, and just.
I think in relationships, I think a lot of us like blow things out of proportion as well. Like it could start off with like a really small thing, and then it turns into this like huge argument, and then when you like whittle it down to what actually has caused the problem, it's actually I'm really stressed at work, or actually like I've had a fallout with my mom, and like it's making me really stressed, and I'm letting out on you.
But it's also hard to like express that sometimes, right? Like I think sometimes we might not even know what's like triggering it, and then that one thing blows, like I said, blows everything into like out of proportion. And I think one thing I've learned as well recently is like you're not responsible for it. If someone else is feeling a certain way, like that's kind of on them to express. Like for years I would like be like, what's wrong, and like really desperately try and get that out of somebody, but like
sometimes you just need to let them be in their funk.
You do, yeah. And also if someone was coming at me like what's wrong, I'd be like, oh my god, it's off. Like it's annoying, and like I think and
it actually makes you feel worse.
Yeah, you're like, well, there was nothing wrong, but now you are the problem. So like then also like role reverse, like that is still like they're allowed to be in a funk.
So it's like listening to each other, opening up, making sure you're telling each other when you know you've done something wrong or like whatever. And I think that I think it's literally just opening up to each other. I really do think that, like, even if one of us we're like not feeling so good, I think if you literally just voice those things, like if I'm like I'm on my period, I'm gonna be like, then my husband knows what to expect. Do you know what I mean? Or I'll say something snappy, and then I'll be like, oh, that's because I'm on. Yeah, I'm really sorry.
And then also that, like, you have to be quite in tune with yourself, I think, to know that.
Yeah,
like, I
so
don't
maybe that's what it is.
Maybe
it
it's
all goes down to you.
Yeah, well,
down
it is
to
though. And this is my point, like, you know, you can't
Yeah.
expect other people to like manage your like feelings, so like that works both ways. And I think you need to be in tune with your own feelings to know like what's triggering that. Like, for years I didn't even really like track my periods. I didn't know like when I was coming on. I'd be like, okay, it's here, or like there'd be a few signs, but like I wouldn't know until probably recently. Be like, okay, I'm gonna be feeling a bit more.
It's actually crazy
emotional.
the difference that it makes, doesn't it?
It's insane.
And so since having my little girl as well, my hormones have been like crazy, like through the roof, like different. And I have had to like keep up with, okay, I'm feeling this, why am I feeling this? Oh, it's because of that. And you're learning so much as you go, but I think we're constantly learning about the woman's body. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But what we go through, the cycle that we go through, even when we hit that, like, we've got loads of energy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even that, I think maybe for partners is like,
It's
whoa,
a lot,
like you're in like
literally.
your love life now.
Yeah,
like,
I know. But then they say, don't they, like, isn't like a man's hormones, like their cycle is 24 hours?
yes.
And
I've heard that.
yeah, and like a woman's is like the whole month. Yeah. Like you actually only get
To the
like
moon.
but you actually only get like a few days.
Really.
Yeah, literally. Like a few days, like a week, where you actually feel like yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Isn't
like,
that great?
well, what even is yourself?
Isn't that
Do you know what
great?
I mean? We digress.
Totally. But yeah, so I think would you agree? Good relationship.
I definitely think so.
Opening up.
Yeah, it's communication. Well, it sounds cliche, but they say like, oh, communication is key, but it actually
Knowing
is.
yourself
Like,
first.
yeah, 100%.
Trusting yourself.
Yeah.
Being happy with yourself before being happy with somebody else. So now, why do we stay in bad relationships?
Yeah.
If we
And
know
this is
what
a
the
bit where I was a
relationship
bit
is.
nervous to talk about this episode, because it's one thing having a laugh with you girls about like your past trials and tribulations.
Liz has had to have a little bit of Dutch courage
Oh
for this.
god, I
so
don't
we will
waste
say.
a cocktail for this one. I suddenly was just nervous. I was like, it's one thing, like I said, like everyone knowing about it, like your intimate girls and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's another thing telling people about it, because like it's your past, right?
Also, you have learnt so much from. I mean, like everybody, we've learnt so much. But I will say, you in particular, you have been through some rough relationships, right?
Trenches, guys.
As a best friend, it's been hard to kind of watch you do that.
I don't really know why. I think I just didn't know how to pick on, that's for sure.
So
But
okay, so yeah, why do we stay in bad relationships? I'm going to ask you this question.
okay. So that's you asking me
That's
a question.
me, that's
okay.
me asking
So
you a question. What would you
think a lot of that is to do, like, you could be really like deep in it and you could say like, oh, like childhood, or you could say this, but I honestly think it's just a lot of it is to do with self-worth, and I think a lot of it is to do with like loneliness. I think all of that, and I think comparison as well. Comparison to me has always been my biggest like hurdle. I think being in a like friendship group where everyone's been in such long-term relationships, I think you're like, oh
Yeah,
this is the one, this is the one. And like obviously I'm not in like a million relationships, but like, you know, I'm turning 30.
I will say I was similar, but not with our friendship group, but my parents met when they were 14, and I said to myself, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I want that fairy tale. Like, I want to meet somebody when I'm a teenager and stay with them forever and grow old with that person. And in reality, you know, that could happen, but you know, you've got your own story. You've got your own story.
No.
And I tried with that, and then that was really not a good relationship for me in my teens. And I think it was when I got to the point of, who am I actually kidding? Like, who does this matter to? It only matters to me.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it gets to that point. I think you can kid yourself for a very long time. Yeah. Which is why, like, I call this the 2-year curse that I've had. But like,
oh my gosh, you do.
Which isn't the case anymore.
You are no longer in the 2-year
I am no longer in the 2-year curse, I am proud to say. But I think for a long time, like, you're like, it's fine, everything's fine, I'm happy, like, this is good. Like, this is my forever person.
That's because you want to be happy.
Yeah, because you so desperately want to be happy. But like, and then it's like everyone's like, don't settle and all that stuff. And I think you genuinely can kid yourself into thinking that you're not.
I mean, there was one relationship in particular, right, that was
Oh good god.
that sticks in my mind.
Oh yes.
That we know which one we're talking about.
We know which one we're referring to.
How old were you? It was uni days.
It was
right?
uni, yeah. So it was, I'd just first gone to uni, and I'd just like finished my like you know, like your first little like romantic relationship, like when I was 17.
I think get a drink for this.
Oh god,
Sit down.
it's gonna be a bumpy ride. But no, like all jokes aside, I think I'd come out of that, like I was a bit of a hot mess. So I like went to uni, and I was like, I think I've always like romanticized like life anyway, and like I wanted this big grand love, and like I think with that came like chaos, and I think I thought that was what love was, and like I thought it was, you know, the being really
wild
intense, and like the movies, and like I don't even know, like, I think that's what I thought I wanted, and
that's so interesting.
And I think when this person came along, they were like chaotic, they were everything that I now know I don't want. But like I think back then,
a real like loud character, like,
really like
takes centre stage,
like Jack the Lad, like all of that. And I think when you're younger, like everyone likes a bit of that boy, do you know what I mean? But like I think that's when you're younger, and I think that's what you don't know what you want really. And I think I was very much in that headspace, and I went to uni, met this person, and
you stayed with right. So I think you're gonna need to tell a snippet of the story so people actually realise how awful this relationship was.
Okay.
Didn't he? Right. No. You say.
I'm scared what you're gonna say.
No. I'll just like. I mean, to be honest, I'd probably suppressed some stuff. That he's done
I've definitely.
And as a friend, like watching your friend be in a toxic relationship is so hard. I mean, you had to do it with me when I was at school.
I did, which was
hard. But you, as we were not adults, because I mean, are you adults?
You're a baby
uni?
adult.
Yeah, you are. You're still a baby. But you think you're grown.
Yeah.
And like watching your friend, you know, struggle in their relationship is really hard.
Yeah, and I was also away as well, right? So I think you wouldn't hear or see all of it. So like I would be like, we'd have a catch up, and I'd be like, oh my god, girl, I've got so much to tell you. Yeah. And you'd be like, this is not okay. This is not good. Then everyone was telling me it wasn't good, and everyone was like, girl, you need to get out of this. But I was like, no, it's fine.
Tell me, is this true? Did he go on like a date?
Oh my god, yes,
something,
he did.
You were together.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the dating show was called now. Like, it was some kind of MTV show, and
who was it? Who ran it?
It was that Vicky Patterson. Is it Vicky Patterson? Yeah, Vicky Patterson.
Yeah.
Well, like I think she like hosted it.
Oh, it's all coming back to me
now.
God,
yeah. My suppressed memories are coming back. So she was like hosting it or something like that, and do you know what? I don't
if you don't know
Vicky
Patterson,
if you don't know Vicky Patterson, she was in like Geordie Shore.
Oh yes.
Stuff like that. So she was part of that world, and I honestly had never even heard of this show. Like, and I clearly still don't remember what the show's called, but
couldn't have been that good, really, could it?
But no, all jokes aside, like obviously, it was a bit of a rough patch anyway. In my life, there's a lot going on, and me and him had just like moved into like our like uni flat and stuff. And
you were living together.
We were living together,
so
and
you were such a couple.
We were very much a couple,
and everybody knew you were together.
And also, I feel like I have to FYI this. Like, he would call himself the King of Wolverhampton, which is such an ick.
I'm gonna have to the King of Wolverhampton.
So anyway.
He still calls himself that.
I really hope not. Like, you know, I hope in some world he's grown. You know what I mean? Anyway, so obviously he's very well known. Like I, by association, was kind of well known with him.
Yeah. And
like we were in this like nightlife world, and we were both like, it makes me actually sick thinking about it. But, like I was like a shot girl. I was like, which is so wild to think.
Completely different world.
It's just a different world, yeah. And like
we're so far away from that
honestly,
now,
like I was like a shot girl, and I was just like, I was working full time, uni full time, chaos, and but like I said, very much like together. So everyone knew of us. That we were like this couple, and then we came back one day, and he came in and was like, my friend signed me up to this TV show, and I was like, oh, okay, what TV show is that? And he's like, oh, and he kind of like fluffed around it for a bit. I was like, yeah, it's this like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, you know, basically my friend's worried about me because I get with loads of girls. And I was like,
oh my god, imagine saying that to your actual girlfriend.
Yeah. And I laughed and I went, what do you mean? And like obviously this is like a long time ago, so like the memory's a bit fuzzy on it, but he was like, yeah, it's like, you know, like you're put on this show basically to sort yourself out. Sort yourself out. Right. And so the Vicky Patterson host would like come in, question you, and be like, you know, this is what your friends worried about you. And then like, obviously I went in a bit blind.
It's coming back to me.
Yeah. So I went into this a bit
It's
blind. Like, oh my god, it's so mortifying. And what's even more mortifying is that I was so embarrassed to tell my whole family about it because everyone knew of him at the time. So I went back home for the weekend. This is after it all filmed. I'm skipping forward a bit, but like just to give you a bit of, you know. And my dad was like, listen, do you want to come downstairs for a minute? And I was like, what? And I came down and he had MTV on, and suddenly what was very much then boyfriend
was on a
dating show. Well, not even dating show. Yeah. So it was like,
I bet your dad.
Yeah, well, not even a dating show about people who had lots of sexual partners and like, yeah, and who was basically a bit of like a man about the town. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so my dad watched this.
I feel like I didn't know that. That is insane.
Yeah. So my dad called me down, and I was literally like, I don't even know what to say. I was like, obviously I knew, and I was trying to keep it very like hush. And I was like, and I don't even know why. Like, why was I protecting that? Like, it's so weird. Again, like, why do we do these things?
Because you were and you
I was
wanted
embarrassed.
To have that good relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And be proud of it.
So I came down and I had to explain to my dad like the whole premise of this show. So what we'd done, and by the time this came out, see, I was also involved in the recording of this show. What? Can I just say? So they basically hired out this whole club in Wolverhampton for the day to record it, and like Vicky Patterson and the TV crew and everything were there. And I still didn't really know what the show was about because he's kind of lied and fluffed up the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, okay, it's like a weird show. Like, and he was like, oh no, it's very much about like my past. It's about my past. And I was like, well, you know, everyone's got a past. Like, you know, I can't judge you for that. Like, he'd been honest to me about his past. Honest. So like, I was like, okay, right, whatever. Like, let's go into this, see what's gonna happen. And also, I was this like young, naive, like 18-year-old. I didn't know what was going on really. Like, my head was a shed. Like, I didn't know what was going on. my head was a shed. Like, I was all over the place. Like, I was just going out all the time. Like, I was just not in a good place mentally. I was just like, you know,
you weren't looking after your body.
No, I was self-destructive, like big time. So so then I was like, okay, let's go in and just see what it's about. So hired the club. We all had to like dress up in like going out well, as if we were out on Saturday night.
Also, I will say that is like a really like, wow, oh my god, Vicky Patterson's here, like we're gonna do this show. Like for you, you're probably like, wow, that's a really cool opportunity. Let's get involved.
So I was a bit like, I think because I was a bit blind into going to what it was, and I also again I was like, okay, this is a bit cool. Like, you know, all of our friends have to pretend to be like background people in a club. So we're all there like drinking in the background, and a little heels.
I think we should link the episode. In the pod, can we do that? No, we can't. We can't do that.
No, because we'll name it.
Yeah. But if you were to go on,
I mean, if you were to do a bit of deep dive digging, I'm sure you could find it.
Is it still a thing?
It's still very much. I think
Have you seen it recently?
Last couple of years. A couple of years ago, I told someone about it, and they were like, "This is not real." I was like, "You know, it's real." So I somehow found it to show them because I couldn't remember what it was called either.
Imagine that. Imagine your boyfriend going on a dating show. So he went on, and was like, hi.
We went on, and like his friend, but also his friend was also kind of like not friends with me, but like he was. Then he started to feel guilty because he was like, but then guilty because there was a lot of secrecy around the show that I hadn't been told yet. So we went on it, and he was like, so this Vicky Patterson was interviewing him, like, why do you think you need to sleep with all of these people? And we're just mortified. I was around all of my friends.
You stood there.
I was stood in the background listening. And she was like, she said something along the lines of like, do you ever think you'll be in like a committed relationship? And there's Muggins over in the corner in this committed relationship. Like, honestly. And I was
actually horrible.
Yeah, I was
that's
so
embarrassed. For you.
I was so embarrassed. And I was just like, okay, it's a show.
And you were like, this is going on television.
This is going to be on TV. Like,
and forever, because you can still find it.
Yeah.
Like,
and by the way, during this time, I was still very much like, yeah, this is going to be my person. Like, this is my person. Like, which is mental to think about. Like, you look back and you're like, ugh, idiot.
Yeah, but you do at the time.
Yeah,
no
at the time,
You.
And oh god, it's just wild. And like I was like, yeah. And then they did all that recording, and then they all kind of went off set, and they were like talking behind the screens, and his friend kept looking over to me, and like looking back, and I remember that vividly, like the look of guilt. And I was like, what is going on? I just knew, I had a gut feeling there was something else going on. And like, this might be a bit TMI, but like, what is TMI? Really. And he was like,
go on.
They were like, okay, yeah, we're all friends here, guys. And she was like, okay, so if you feel that, like, I can't remember the way she worded it, but she basically said, would you be okay to do a surprise STI screening? Surprise.
Oh,
Surprise.
my
I say in
goodness. Are you
quotations.
still there? Are you still
Oh,
watching
I'm still stood at the bar, yeah. So, surprise
I'm
STI
like
screening.
so
I'm so thinking about it, honestly. And I was like, oh god. And everyone was like, and then at that point, everyone started looking at me because everyone knew of me. And I was like, what is going on? And like, so basically, I didn't find this out until much later, like months later. But he was like, yeah, sure, I'll do an STI screening. And obviously, we've been together for like probably a year at this point. So, and then like, there'd been rumours that he cheated and stuff like that. But then I kind of was like, well, if this comes back positive, like, he's obviously cheated. Like, is like. So then I was thinking, oh my god, like, a lot is actually riding on this all of a sudden. So I was stood there, like,
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Honestly,
what did I say?
So it came like negative. And I was like, oh god, amazing. And like, this massive like relief came over me.
So you were thinking he's cheated.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay, he's not.
Yeah.
Is that how your brain kind
so
of
I was like,
okay.
oh god, thank god for that. I was like, oh my god, that would have been mortifying. So I was like suddenly relaxed and I was like, yeah, okay, get me a drink. So then I was like happy.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't shake this, like his friend kept looking over me with guilt and I was like, why is he keep looking at me like that? So then it all comes out later that he then told someone else, and that someone else told me that basically he'd warned my ex that this STI screening was going to happen. So my ex, who actually was cheating on me, spoiler, to go and get tested and cleared up. So then, because obviously he had it and he'd given it to me, and obviously I didn't know because I didn't know that he was cheating on me. So he actually did have it, cleared it off because he knew that he was going to get tested, and then wouldn't go near me for the weeks leading up to that because obviously then I'd give it him back.
Oh my god.
So so when I found that out, I was like, no, this has to be a joke. So then I went and got tested.
I definitely knew all these things, but like
having
it as a story like this is
because we don't talk about it anymore, do we?
Relationship.
This actually happened.
Actually a relationship you were in.
Yeah. So then I was like, this has to be a joke. So I went and got tested. Obviously I had it, and I was like, what the hell? So I lost my head. I was like, yeah, I had it was chlamydia. So he gave me chlamydia, and what a 10 out of 10. And I was like, lied to me about it. So
I'm so sorry for your past life.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, what the hell? This can't be real. So I cleared it off, and I was like, right, okay, sort myself out. But by this point, somehow, I stayed with him. Why? Why did I do that? Like, why? And then this links back to the why do you say in bad relationships. I don't know if I have the answer to that because at this point,
did you feel like you were like in it together? Is that kind of
it felt a bit like this body and code, like, you know, I need to, you know, it was just because it was so
against the world.
Yeah, which is like, I look back at it and I'm like, that is revolting. But like back then, I think that's what I thought, and I think because like a lot had been going on, and like I don't even know, like, but at that point, surely.
I mean, he also was a walking red flag. Like the things that he did. I mean, obviously, that whole story is horrific.
Well, do you remember the football thing?
What football thing?
Football thing. Yeah. So he played American football. I mean, at this point, if you don't know who we're talking about, then I mean,
we may as well say names.
We might as well name and shame at this point, but yeah. So
I don't know this. Do you want to know this?
Sure you do.
Okay, come
so
on. Spill the beans.
Basically, after we broke up, I think I need to sip for this. Cheers. God, I didn't think we divulged this much, but here we are.
I know, but
we're in it now. Right.
It's our diary.
Yeah, it's a diary. This is a diary entry. So after we broke up, I was out at this club and he out with his like American football friends, and one of them went up to me and said something. I can't remember what they said, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe we broke up. And I went, yeah, well, you know, and I said something about like either Wednesday or Thursday night practice or something. And I went, well, I can't remember in what context I said it. And then he went, what Thursday night practice? And I was like, well, yeah, like I can't remember exactly what day it was.
Sorry.
And then I said,
you were speaking to one of his friends.
Yeah, one of his football friends. And I said, well, yeah, like the Thursday night practice. And I was like, yeah, Thursday night practice. And he was like,
Thursday night practice wasn't a thing.
What Thursday night practice? And I was like, well, yeah, no, he'd go in his like football kit, come back with mud on him. And I swear to God, hand on my heart, this is the God's honest truth.
He would come back with mud on his body, like he was playing football.
So whether this kid literally went like licked mud and went it on his legs, I don't even know. But I have vivid memories of him, and I do think he did play football. Like, but there was definitely
But
he
it
played
wasn't
it.
anything on
Like,
Thursdays.
no, or like whatever day it was that I quoted to this friend. It was like he was like, no, that's not a thing. Like that never happened. And I went, I was like, so what was he doing then? And he was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, wow.
So in your mind, you're like, that is
yeah.
the day you have been.
And also, like, everyone knew, like, everyone came up to me, like, oh, like, he slept with this person, he slept with that person. And he also, there was, well, it wasn't rumours, because, like, I'm pretty sure I saw something. But the night that we moved into our flat, I got crazy drunk. Cause, like, I was going through a lot, like, my head, like I said, head was a shed. And, like,
head was a shed.
I
think the quote of, forget the good quote that we've got at the end. The quote of this episode is head was a shed.
And yeah, and then we moved into our flat. This again, this is like going to a different story. And he got with like my friend whilst I was in the room in our flat. Yeah, and it was like very much like he said, she said. Everyone's coming up to me telling me it happened, and I was like, no, that's just too awful. Because she was like one of my best friends at the time.
I don't remember these stories. I've been a part of her life for so long. I feel like I had to suppress everything you told me.
Probably. So we didn't like actually go on a witch hunt.
Yes.
Oh, I found out.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I can't believe.
Yeah. And then I was like, no, this can't be real. But then like after loads of things came out after we broke up, like the people would come up to me with like screenshots and be like, no, this is the proof. And like he'd be messaging his ex, he'd be like sleeping with other people, like people would come up to me saying, oh, like, are you still dating that person? Like, I got with them last week.
You were living with him.
Yeah, I was just so like, there was like every angle that was coming at me, and I was like, no, that's too awful to believe. That's too awful to believe.
Do you think? Okay, so going back to why do we stay in bad relationships? Because let's be honest, that is the worst relationship I have ever heard of.
It's not exactly healthy, is it?
Why do you think? Now, like dissecting it, let's break it down. Why do you think you were in that relationship for so long? Is it because he was very familiar with Wolverhampton and you wanted that kind of like somebody to show you the like? Did you feel comfortable?
So. Yeah, I think it started off as that, but I don't think that's why I stayed. I think it was like I don't know. I think I just wanted to like to be loved, and I think it was that wanting, like, I know that's a bit emotional, but like it wasn't even that. Like I think no, it was that. I think I don't even know. Like I think well, obviously you were young, and yes, we make mistakes when we're younger, and our brains are wired differently, like genuinely wired differently, especially through teenage years. I can't remember what there is. 25. Is that something to do with like oh God, don't quote me. It's like either some kind of frontal or whatever isn't developed until you're 25. So they say like
teenagers make rash decisions.
Yeah, and like when you're 25, it's fully developed. So they say. So I've read like much like that.
Surely for men that takes a little bit longer.
I don't think that's fully developed. But it's So I think that's what I'm kind of blaming them on. But I do think like when I look back, and I just think there's a lot of like wanting to be loved, like suppressing things, not believing things, and also like on that is, I think it's the way that when you have a toxic relationship, it's the way that they can convince you that things aren't real, like things are like it's in your head, like you're imagining it, or like you're the problem.
You were vulnerable, really, and he took advantage of you there, didn't he?
I think
emotionally.
So. Yeah, massively.
If somebody, let's say one of your sisters is in a relationship like that, what would you say to them to try and help them, guide them out of it? What would you? Have you got? I'm literally. Sorry, sorry.
Well, first of all, if it was one of my sisters, I would be throwing them in the back of my car and probably burying them in a lake. Yeah. But no, all jokes aside, I think what I would say is like, I know we say like not everyone can like have these good instincts, or not everyone knows that something's wrong, but I think everyone just some
Did you
level.
Have good
oh my God, the whole time,
then?
like the whole time I was thinking, I think this is true. Like I think this is happening. I think he is actually this awful, but I taught myself out of it. So I think it's not talking yourself out of something that you actually know deep down is
and
true.
Maybe it's a reminder. Maybe you'd need a reminder that you're gonna be okay without being in a relationship with them. You don't need them.
And also, I think now that we're older, I think you can say that. Like I think when you're going in it, or you're very much going through it, I think it's so hard to see like a light at the end of the tunnel. But like when you've experienced these bad relationships, I think you can very much wholeheartedly say, like, this is gonna like mold you, or this is gonna like you're not gonna regret these things. That you're gonna wish that maybe you didn't pick them, but like it's not gonna be the end of the world. And like I know that in some instances, it very much is. Like, you know, women are very much subject to male violence, and you know it's not always okay. But a lot of the time,
that's another topic.
That is a whole other topic. But when I say that, it's not a flippant thing. Like, it's gonna be okay. But
I think also we've not mentioned what you do for a job, but perhaps maybe it would be a good time to
so I work for a women's charity in Coventry, and we support women who are subject to or at risk of like sexual exploitation, have multiple like unmet needs, and that can
so you are constantly
different ways.
You are constantly witnessing women who have been treated badly.
100%, like I go into prisons and support women in prison, coming out of prison, so there's a lot.
And 9 times out of 10, are they from a romantic relationship? Like, have they been
so they've been
involved with
100%. They would have had like some kind of childhood trauma or like abuse or something, and it's awful. Like the stuff that we see day to day that these women are subjected to is just the worst, and it really like shows you what humans like the worst of like human nature can be, and it's just awful. So like
I'm gonna say, I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. I genuinely believe that, and perhaps some of the relationships, specifically that one, I think, and obviously like everything in your past shapes you as a person, but I think perhaps that's why you have the job that you have, and why you enjoy it.
I heard something the other day, and I can't remember what. I think I was actually listening to another podcast, and like I heard it, and I was like, oh my god, I love that. Like, I love that phrase. It's called the wounded healer.
Okay.
And they say that people who often go into these sorts of jobs or professions or like whatever have had some kind of like history themselves, which is what you're saying. And it's like they say you're the wounded healer, so you've had some kind of hurt, and you're like, I'm gonna be that person for someone else, or I can help them.
You've grown out of it, and you can see it on the other side.
Like I look back, and like obviously it's then bad relationships, but it's weird. I don't regret any of them. Like, I do not wish it played out in any other way, because I think if anything had changed or been different, I probably wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
And like I think it took a long time, but I think I actually like feel good now, liking who I am today.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to get to that.
But again, it goes down to you.
Yeah.
And being confident and happy with who you are.
Yeah. And that manifests in different ways. I think there's always things like, you know, your body, this, that you're up and down with. But I think generally who you are as a person, to your core, like that takes time, doesn't it? And I'm still not there, but like we're getting there.
Oh yeah, I think we're constantly growing and learning, aren't we, on the journey? Wow.
Well, we have digressed there, didn't we?
Wow, what an episode. I feel like I have learned things, and I don't know how, because I was there with you, but wild. So, okay, we definitely will be diving back into the subject of relationships. I feel like there's a lot to unpack still, and to talk about, and things that we've learned, things that we're still learning that we can, dive into. But shall we end? Oh, we have a little quote that we found. In our little book. Sorry, I hit the mic. And the quote is, choose the person who brings you peace, not the one who keeps you guessing. And we both resonated with that.
100%.
And we've come from two different places. Yeah. But I think choosing somebody who makes you feel calm and at peace is so important, and feel homely. I think it's a homely feeling.
It is, and I think especially for the girlies who always feel like they need that like chaos, or they need that like excitement. But sometimes like when you're in relationships and you think, I'm getting a bit bored now, like that always isn't on like that person that you're with. Like sometimes it's, you're so used to chaos and like, oh my god, like, do they like me, do they not, like this constant chasing, cat and mouse. Like when you do feel peace, like actual happiness, like that is just,
it's like clarity for your brain as well, isn't it?
And then suddenly you're like, oh okay, no, this is what it's supposed to be like.
And
I think that's why we've come full circle on this now. It's like this, I think that is what a good relationship is like. Just feeling peace.
There we go.
Feeling peace.
There we go. Peace to all. Peace to the world. So our next episode, we have decided we're gonna put on our Instagram. We're gonna
Q&A.
Yeah, a little Q&A that we'd love you to get on board with and ask away some questions. We're just gonna have a bit of a fun episode with our next one and answer a few things.
We want to hear from you guys as well. Like, what do you want us to hear? Because I know we said this podcast would be a bit of everything, like girlhood, womanhood, into like bestie chat.
Yeah.
But we want to get involved. Like, we want you guys to be like, I don't know, like throw some questions or like advice or anything.
We do have a few people that we really want to get on here as well.
We do.
Some experts that are that have things, really great facts and advice that we would love to hear, that we want the world to know more on.
Absolutely. So we want to hear from you guys, so please get involved. Please. And
we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye.